Let me know in the comments section, do you think this is a good idea? Are you hoping no one will get hurt? Imagine if one of these athletes got hurt. Imagine Wesley Vissers was doing this lift and he tore his pec. What would we say then? Coach Greg, in today's video, one of the most ridiculous competitions I've ever seen taking place the day after the Arnold Classic. I'm telling you what you need to hear. This was absolutely moronic. And by moronic, I mean it makes no sense. I can't understand how they dared to enter this competition. And what am I talking about? A maximum dumbbell press competition amongst the top 3 at the Arnold Classic versus Chris Bumstead. Imagine this. You've been dieting for 3 or 4 months, starving yourself, you have 4% body fat, you perhaps use performance-enhancing drugs, you've taken diuretics, you're dehydrated, you're on estrogen blockers, you're trying to lower your estrogen so that you look exceptionally hard, grainy hard on stage. For example, perhaps you took Nolvadex, Aribidex, Femira, or Letrozole. And what are we going to do the day after the competition when you're at your weakest, when you're at your most prime point of getting an injury? Let's have a bench press contest and see who's the strongest. Now, I get it. They're all alphas and they're very, very strong. They can lift a tremendous amount of weight. But the day after a competition, that ain't it. That is not the time to see who's the strongest. I remember years ago, Jean-Pierre Fuchs, an IFBB pro bodybuilder, had a photo shoot the day after a competition. Decided to squat 6 plates on the bar. Both patella tendons ruptured. He lost both of them. Seen bodybuilders, they hop off the stage to guest pose. Tendons rupture. Very easy. Little hop, 4 feet. Can't handle it. Why? Because when you're dieting to this extent, when you're using performance-enhancing drugs, the muscles are primed for injury. And so what did they decide to do? Let's grab 140-pound dumbbells and see how many reps we can get on the incline. And so first up, the only one that could actually do this competition safely, Chris Bumstead. He's not dehydrated. He's in his off season. And so for him, it's pretty safe. And so I can't see if they've done any prior warm-ups whatsoever. I don't know if they've done the 40s first, then the 80s, then the 120s before grabbing the 140s. I don't know. Are they properly warmed up? Have they done cardio? Do they have a sweat going? Because I certainly hope they're not showing up cold and grabbing in the 140s and just having a go at it. Hey, let's just see who's stronger. Sure, let me do it. This a recipe for disaster. Would be very surprised if none of them sustain at least a minor injury from doing this. Sometimes you don't feel it on that moment, but the next day you then regret it. And people are not going to admit it. Oh, it felt a little tweaked. They're not going to say anything. You really think they want to let their competition know that they hurt themselves while doing the incline dumbbell press? Imagine Ramon Dino's bench pressing, feels the tweak, puts the weight down. Oh, shouldn't have done that. You really think he's going to tell Urs, say, oh, you know, I hurt my chest. What are you going to do about it? Of course not. And so he picks up the 140-pound dumbbells, rests them on his thighs. Wesley Vissers in the back, looking amazing, shredded. Look at the muscle. Chris has a hat on, fully covered up, not letting anyone look at his. And we have, I believe, Chris Cormier spotting him in the back. 3 very solid reps, perfect technique. 4, 5, amazing form. This guy is doing it properly. You're seeing a spot on 6. We should already be stopped. 7, as you can't see on the camera. And Chris finishes with 8 repetitions, clean, solid reps, perhaps with a slight spot at the end. Up next, Irvs, talking a little smack with Chris. I'm going to beat you. You got 8, I'm doing 9. But remember, Irvs exceptionally strong on the bench press, very strong at pressing, but he's dieted. He's not an off-season 275 as I once seen him. He's down closer to the 220s. Looks to the crowd, edging them on. Let's get the cheers going. Wesley Vissers clapping hard in the last time. Look at Wesley. What a mountain of muscle. Absolutely insane. First rep, slight spot on the first rep. 2, 3 reps, he's already struggling. Rep number 4, assisted. And 5 with assistance. 7 reps, puts the weights down. Not quite the form of Chris. Happy, did I just get myself injured? Hopefully, I did not hurt myself. We'll find out tomorrow. Next up, Ramon Dino, 140s. Look at the thickness. Look at the arms, the shoulders. He's thinking, I can get 9 reps. I've done this plenty of times. Well, you haven't done it dieted. 1, solid rep. 2, not as far of a repetition as Chris. 3, not nearly the range of motion. 4 and 5, and get some assistance going for rep number 6. 6 with some help, and attempt 7 gets it with some help. Awkward form of technique, drops to weight, frustrated. I only got 7. And so yet again, I'm falling behind Chris Bumstead. Remember, Chris is in his off season. Last but not least, the biggest of the bunch, Wesley Vissers. Guy's the tallest, grabs him. Is he going to curl them? Looks like he could curl these things. Leans down, look at the striations, the leanest of the bunch. Ready, first rep with some spot. Rep number 2. He's already struggling for 3, 4 reps. No, not the whole way up. 4.5, and forces it up, not getting controlled. He's barely getting the weight up. He's like, ooh, that was a heavy weight. Why did I do that? What did we prove here? We proved that Chris Bumstead in the offseason, when not dehydrated, is stronger than the other competitors who are at 4% body fat. Shocker. And not only that, Chris much heavier than these guys. He's in his full-on offseason. Chris sometimes food 250, 260 pounds in the offseason. And so is it not expected he would lift more weight? What shall we do now? I know. Let's train some chest. We've already trained to failure doing perhaps 4 to 8 repetitions. Let's find a chest machine. And for this chest machine, let's put the lightest weight we can possibly imagine, and let's now try this. Let us place 1 plate on each side of the chest press machine. But what opportunity? We have Wesley Vissers talking to Chris. You think you're going to beat me? I got you this year at the Olympia. Had Chris Bumstead showed up, could he have peaked twice in 1 year? Perhaps Chris can only peak 1 time a year. That's why he only competes at the Olympia. Imagine if the prizes for the Olympia went up to $500,000 for classic physique. Would Chris Bumstead then come out of retirement and win the Arnold Classic? He's only competed at the Olympia. He has no Arnold Classic title. Would he come out and win the Arnolds for $500,000? Wouldn't you want to see it? And so first up, Chris pressing 1 plate on each side. He's talking, chatting. This is easy. This feels simple. Why didn't we start with this before the bench press? Maybe we should have done this instead of a dumbbell competition. This would have been a lot safer. Perhaps more repetitions would do 20. Lots safer. Ramon Dino. Yeah, I think I can handle 1 plate on each side. I mean, we just did 140 pounds in each arm. And so I'm going to do it. And up next, we have Urs, chest pressing. This is an easy weight for him. No problem. Having a great time. Loving this form and technique. This is a lot safer. This makes more sense. Why don't we all just go and do a lightweight workout? We're going to train some chest. Going to have a great time. We don't need to go to failure. Remember, this was decided at the press conference in the days before the Olympia. We are going to train chest. And last but not least, look at the mass of Wesley Vissers. He barely fits in the machine. The chest is thick. It's almost touching the handles, the striations, the delts, the triceps. Dude, I'm not even joking, but Cbum is the only one with that perfect form during the whole set. And I'm a big fan of Ramon, but he couldn't control that weight and his wrists were bending out too much. The weight's too heavy, he's dehydrated, tired from having just competed at the Arnolds. You can't expect any of these 3 have competed to lift anything like this. The fact that they even tried this just goes to show the strength, their fortitude, the fact that they didn't want to disappoint their fans. But this is not safe, should not be done, maxing out in this way the day after a competition. I thought they'd be stronger. They are stronger. This would literally be the weakest they will ever be in the entire year. They are dehydrated. They've just competed. They haven't been drinking enough water. They haven't been eating properly. And this is the time when they are at the greatest risk of injury. Lifting anything heavy, absolutely foolish. Even a set of 10 to failure, that is heavy when you're dehydrated to this extent. And so what I would recommend following the Olympia, it's actually a deload week. When you're done competing, I'm not saying take the entire week off the gym. Go to the gym, train, of course. But remember, progressive overload, and that means to train harder than last time. After leading up to this competition with not enough food, overtraining, all the posing, your muscles are so sore. You're on stage, posing, flexing, holding the poses. Every muscle is sore. Chest, shoulders, biceps, abs, especially the abs, least for me. You're flexing more than you've ever flexed in your entire life. Your entire body is sore. You're not sleeping enough. You're dehydrated. You go to the gym and you don't want to max out. This is the time to progressive overload. If there's ever a time to progressive overload, it's following a competition. And so in training harder than last time, you go to the gym the first time, you go easy. You're doing your warm-up weights, you're getting a pump, you're feeling good, you're bringing blood to the muscles, you're just training and having fun. The next workout, if you're not sore, remember, you're sore from posing, you can then go a little bit harder. And so for the following weeks and months following the competition, you then progressively overload, you increase the weight, the intensity, and you get bigger and or stronger. But to max out like this, getting 4, 6, 8 reps on the dumbbell, maxing out with 140 pounds, this very, very dangerous. Let me know in the comments section, do you think this is a good idea? Are you hoping no one would get hurt? Imagine if one of these athletes got hurt. Imagine Wesley Vissers was doing this lift and he tore his pec. What would we say then? Please be careful. Do not ego lift in the gym. To me, this was ego lifting. I don't think it was their idea, but they shouldn't have been doing it with 140 pounds. If we are in fact having a competition, let's lighten the weight to 100s. Let's make sure they're getting 10 repetitions or more just to be safe, more safe than last time. Don't forget, if you're looking for supplements, we have GO2 Max, we have Ecti Builder and Turk Builder. Head over to my website. Don't forget about the code GREG, 15% off. And you see in the background the cookbooks. We also have the training books as well as the Circle diet book. You can get all of these on my website, PDF, hard copy, 15% off. And if you want a free diet and training program, it's close to 50 pages. Head on our website. Also become one of the 300,000 plus newsletter subscribers. If you have a passion for health and fitness, you love harder than last time supplements, please apply. We are looking for you. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment to boost your algorithm, like the video if you liked it, watch one of those 2 bloops. Looking for training programs for me and my team, phone consults, head over to my website. And until next time, I am out.